So, tax season is here. I feel like just saying that, I need to take a little deep breath. I don't know about you, it makes me very anxious. We have a little over a month until tax day. We've told you about some changes to your taxes this year, and we know that means you probably have a few questions. I feel like we all do here. So we did bring in our tax expert this morning, Lysandra Selby with H&R Block, to get some of those answers. Sandra, good morning.
Hi. Well,
thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, by the way, she's sticking around after this segment to answer some questions for you on Facebook Live. So hop on our Q13 Fox Facebook page right now. Get your questions in immediately so we can help you out there. First off, let's get some of these basic questions out the way because we do have so many changes this year. We had that new tax plan go into effect. What popular tax credits or changes might we notice right off the bat?
Well, they have actually doubled the child tax credit, which is awesome for families or individuals that have children that are under the age of 17. And actually 1,400 of it is now actually a refundable credit. Now, they did get away with the item, individual standard deduction.
The standard deduction. Okay.
They doubled the standard deduction, but they got rid of the personal exemption. However, people that have dependents that are over the age of 16, they can still get a tax benefit with a new credit called the family credit, which is actually $500 per dependent. However, that one is not refundable.
Okay. Now, just in your opinion, as a tax expert, I remember when the tax changes came along, there was a lot of talk about this would make doing taxes easier. Have you noticed people say, what is the reaction from people who have already done their taxes? Are they noticing it's a bit easier, or is it just different? What's your opinion of that?
Well, the new tax reform definitely is on an individual basis. It's virtually going to affect everyone. Whether it affects their bottom line, but it's definitely going to affect how they think about doing their taxes. That is 100% happening.
So when we talk about how it does affect everyone sort of on an individual basis here, let's say you think like, hey, my taxes aren't going to, increase, or, maybe you think your tax bill is going to decrease a little, but it doesn't. What do you do then? What happens next? Well,
one of the major changes that happened early on when the Tax Cut Job Act was enacted is that new tax withholding tables employers used. So overall, most people came out ahead, but if their refund or their bottom line is not actually what they wanted, that's because they receive more on their paychecks throughout the year, so that can affect them. But if they're unhappy with their bottom line, they really need to get in and do some W-4 planning because it's on what your employer is withholding from you, and the major part of tax refunds is the withholding. So once you get that whole picture together, whole family's income, you may be in a different tax bracket.
Oh, okay. So you have to do a little bit of editing maybe in your own family budget there. So what happens perhaps if you are expecting a refund and you don't get a refund, maybe you even owe in some cases and you're like, oh gosh, I wasn't budgeting for that. Do taxpayers have any options there?
Yes, definitely. You want to pay your full tax bill by April 15th. So if you have any feeling that you may owe, you want to get your tax completed now so that you know in advance what that outcome is. The IRS does offer payment plans, but the main reason is you want to figure out why did I owe, and then you can go back and make changes now for next year so that you're not in that same situation. If you don't make those changes, you're probably going to be in the same exact situation, next year owing.
Sandy, thank you so much. So this conversation is going to continue on our Facebook Live page. If you are watching right now and have more personalized questions, head to our Q13 Fox Facebook page right now. We're continuing that conversation here. Now, when I say personalized, it just means you have your own question. We obviously can't answer every single very detailed question about your tax refund, However, we would love to answer your questions here. I actually have one question about the standard versus the itemized deduction, so I'm going to ask that first on our Facebook page and get the ball rolling.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. All right, so we'll head there and also send it over to MJ with the forecast.